So the Karmelo Anthony surveillance footage has been released. And when I saw this news, I got so excited at first, but I knew there would be a catch. And of course, there's a catch. So the footage has been released, but only to a select few members of the media. But not just that, it gets worse, of course. Of course, you know, they got to go out of their way to protect Karmelo Anthony. So the footage is edited. They took out certain parts of the surveillance footage, which I assume is the parts where Karmelo Anthony kills Austin Metcalf. And they basically let a few reporters watch this footage and then told them, okay, you could go report what you saw to the news. You could go on the news and report the grainy, edited surveillance footage that we showed you guys. You can go on the news and talk about it. And it's just like, I am beyond disappointed, because you know that when they want to paint a certain picture, when they have a certain narrative that they want to roll with, they have no problem releasing footage like this. They have no problem releasing footage when they want to rile people up and have them riot in the streets. They have no problem releasing footage when they have a certain story that they want to roll with to anger people and enrage people. If there's a story that supports their narrative, they will release the footage. But when it comes to Karmelo Anthony, there's all of these different loopholes. And you know those loopholes and the obstacles that you have to jump over in order to see this stuff. It's there to protect Karmelo. But the local news, after not reporting on this story hardly at all, even though it's the biggest story in their area, the local news, I guess a couple of reporters got to see the footage, and they did a news segment describing everything they saw. And it's interesting because they show you, you know, certain angles. They go to the actual stadium and show you where certain things happened and where the EMS came from and different things like that. So I want to go ahead and roll that clip for you really quickly. But first, if you guys support the channel, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you comment, and make sure you're subscribed. Also, if you would like to donate to the channel, it's always greatly appreciated. You could do so via Cash App or Super Thanks. But with that being said, let's go ahead and roll this news clip, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Our public information request with Frisco ISD was met on Monday. We could only watch the before and after of an April 2nd alleged stabbing at a school track meet that led to the death of one student and the arrest of another. The district didn't give it to us, but allowed us to watch it. The video is available for limited viewing only, citing student privacy and school security. There is no audio. Try to picture this. We're on the 4th floor. We walk into a room and there's a TV with a shot showing half of Kirkendall Stadium. It's a wide shot from the opposite side. And everything that happens in one very small fraction of the screen in the upper left-hand corner. We couldn't zoom in. It's blurry, pixelated. You cannot identify or see victim Austin Metcalf or suspect Karmelo Anthony. It is hard to tell how many people are under that memorial tent. It's also hard to tell what they're doing. But we do know that about 9:55, there's a lot of commotion, a lot of activity that happens at the top side of that memorial tent all the way down to the bottom. At this point, it is hard to tell, and it does not show on camera the alleged stabbing. We do know that there are a lot of people that run away from that scene soon after. We notice a number of what appear to be students running across the bleachers from many directions away from the tent. More people on the field start to notice and also run toward the back gate and exit. Okay, at about 9 minutes after the alleged stabbing, we see EMS drive right through to the backside of this stadium, and they park midfield. Next, we notice paramedics wheeling out a gurney, but have to walk all the way back to the gate and to the bleachers. There's a lot of activity at the bottom of those bleachers and what appears to be the triage of Austin Metcalf. 15 minutes after the incident, we see people put the tarp over the bleachers, which our helicopter cameras captured. All right, so looking at the timing, there's 26 minutes between the time of the alleged stabbing and the time EMS leaves Kirkendall Stadium with Austin Metcalf. At the same time, what appear to be officers, they are at the crime scene right next to that tent. All of this video will one day be shown in court. A grand jury may see it too in the coming weeks. The attorney for Karmelo Anthony confirms he's seen it, but neither family has disclosed whether they've seen it. In Collin County, I'm Jobin Puniker.
And you see, folks, this is why I've been telling you guys that I am not ready to turn away from this story. Because if you ask me, the timing of this release is kind of shady. They waited until another big national news story was dominating the headlines. Everyone is talking about the riots in LA. And now they're spreading to Chicago, New York, Atlanta, and guess where else? In Dallas. Yeah, so as these anti-ICE protests are breaking out everywhere, including in Dallas, Texas, and in Austin, Texas, that's when they finally say, oh, hey, we're going to release the surveillance footage to a few people. We're not going to give you the footage to show anyone else, but you can come here and watch it on our TV. And, oh, yeah, we edited the part out, where Karmelo killed Austin. Sorry. It's like, what? These are the games that they play. And I'm aware of the type of games they play. I'm familiar with these type of games, which is why I've been telling you guys I am not giving up on this story. I am not turning away because that's when they're going to start releasing stuff. They think everyone else is preoccupied with everything else that is going on, and it's true. Most people are, but I'm still keeping my eye on this situation. So I do think it's shady the way they've gone about releasing this. I think it's shady that they edited the part out where Karmelo kills Austin. It's just an all-around shady type of situation. And it's like now I'm supposed to trust the local media to tell us the truth about what they saw. And I'm not saying that they were lying, but I'm saying like most of us don't really trust the media. And I definitely don't trust the local media there because they've kind of ignored this story on purpose. They interviewed that one girl that said Karmelo was known for fighting. And then bam, never talked to anyone else about the story again. And I feel like this is being framed as if this surveillance footage is the only footage that exists. And we know that's not true. We know that other people had their cell phones, cameras rolling. Even the baby beater that is representing Karmelo Anthony, he stated multiple times that there's multiple different videos of the incident. So, I don't know. I'm disappointed because, of course, we didn't get to see the footage. From the sounds of it, it's going to be hard to really make out what's going on anyway. But it's just the way they've gone about it that really makes me feel uncomfortable. You guys get what I'm saying? Like, we see the video, we don't see the video, whatever. The way they're going about it really makes me feel uncomfortable. Because you know that the way they're going about it, it's all because they're trying to protect Karmelo. And that doesn't make me feel, confident moving forward when it comes to how this whole case is going to be handled. Because every step of the way, we've watched it, we've witnessed it. They've done everything to protect this murderer. Everything they can. And they're still doing so. They have not expelled him. They allowed him to graduate. And now they're, playing funny with their footage that they have of him killing Austin. So yeah, Frisco ISD, corrupt. They got some shady stuff going on there. And my question would be, how do other parents feel right now who are sending their kids to school in this school district? How do you all feel about how they've handled this situation? Because if I'm a parent living there, I'm looking at everything playing out, and the way I see it, so if something were to happen to my kid, God forbid, but if something happens to my kid, are y'all going to side with the person who hurts him or her or kills him or her? You know what I mean? Let's say if another Karmelo Anthony gets pokey with another student in the Frisco Independent School District, are y'all going to protect that killer too? So every parent that is sending their kid to school, I hope that they've gotten the message loud and clear that if something happens to your kid, if some other kid does something to your kid, and that other kid happens to be maybe of a certain race or something, or a certain ethnic background, if that kid looks a certain way or belongs to a certain community, then they may protect them after hurting your kid. If your kid belongs to a certain community, if your kid looks this way, or if your kid is this race. So there's definitely, some discrimination going on there. There's definitely just blatant siding with the criminals instead of the victim. It should be a no-brainer. I don't care about court. Oh, well, Karmelo has to see his day in court and whatever. That's a totally different story. The school district, it should be a no-brainer for them. They are not the judge. They are not the law. It should be a no-brainer for them to side with the victim's family. The family who just lost a child. Kind of under your watch. They should be siding with the family, but they've sided with Karmelo every step of the way. And as we see, they're still continuing to do that. So take that information and do with it what you will. But for now, you guys let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.